Quack. Quack. Quack, quack, quack. Oh, yeah. Quack, quack, quack.
12 and... Oh! I am your host, Adam Chamel.
And I am your co-host, the most roast with the big blows, Aaron Schroeder.
That never quite works out.
I always have to
energy,
make a word up.
It sounds like it's working out, but then when you think about it immediately afterwards, you're like, no, that didn't make any sense. But maybe
I like
that's
to call
what
it.
you're going
I like
for.
to call it the Shyamalan paradox.
It's
It's
yes,
going, and you're like, oh
about.
shit, it's actually working, and then it gets to the end, and you go, oh, it didn't.
The twist is this movie was bad.
It's just now it's a thing.
But we can't wordle it. Yeah, I know you're trying to wheedle in some Shyamalan talk, but we simply don't have time, Aaron. We don't have time.
Too
That's
much
the
to talk
twist.
about, Adam. Too much to talk about.
Oh, we got all the time in the world. There was time. There was time at last.
Oh man, do you remember the lockdown?
Yeah, that's right. The Oregon Ducks, the basketball teams, both basketball teams.
Woo!
I mean, let's actually just get straight into Quacksball, because that's what this whole freaking episode's going to be dedicated to.
Quacksball. 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 Uh-oh.
That's right. There is so much Quacksball to talk about. Because the men's team, well, they wrapped up basically right when the last episode went live, last week's episode.
Cool.
Because we didn't know the results of the Wisconsin game. I was kind of feeling good about that one. I was an idiot. I admit. I'll admit right now on this episode that I was a moron. I was too optimistic. You actually called that they would lose. So you knew we were really at, I guess. They played Wisconsin and they lost, and so they're out of the NIT. Wisconsin later lost to the Mean Green, the UNT, which I really wanted that matchup for the Ducks just because I like that team. But no, we lost to freaking Wisconsin. We'll get into that game in a little bit, but so we lost in the NIT there, and for the women's season, we went to the WNIT, as you know. We beat San Diego 81-61, which that was part of our just, I don't know, like a real feel-good run in the postseason that, you know, is the less fun postseason. Let's be real. This is the real March sadness here, is when you're playing in the NITs. And then it really got sad when we lost to Washington 59-63 in Seattle, Washington, for some freaking reason. I'll get into that. Aaron, did you happen to watch any of these games? I doubt it. I mean, you don't watch
Adam?
typically.
I went to the game.
What?
What?
Yeah, are you saying that since you went to Seattle, Washington? Well, you live in Seattle, Washington, but you went over to Montlake and you watched yourself a basketball game?
I did. It was great.
Great. Let's well, before we get into that experience, because that's going to be basically the whole episode. Honestly, I want to hear everything.
Wait,
I want to tell you some sad
plan
news.
a whole episode around an act that you have just shown off that you've never known I went and did?
Actually, that was my acting skills, good boy.
Acting.
That was I hit you with that acting degree. I don't have one. I have a.
You don't need one, dude.
Degree.
You're too good. You're
Everyone's
natural.
an actor. Everyone's an actor. That is one of
The
my,
world is a stage.
Hey. Quack 12 podcast on Twitter. Aaron, I got some bad news, honestly. So 2 players that actually were getting some talk in the NIT when we were actually beating teams, the men's team. To recap that, I mean, we beat UC Irvine, we beat UCF. Both of those were actually pretty comfortable wins, even without our 3 main starters playing in them. And against Wisconsin, even, these 2 showed up, but not much throughout the season. Tyrone Williams That is right. Who really did not play much this season at all. Like, I know that partially due to injury, but he seemed to play a lot in the beginning when, like, especially when Kuznard was out, when Bartholomew was out, and then a little bit in the end when everyone was injured. He averaged like 2.5 points a game, 2 rebounds a game in 23 games off the bench. So really didn't play that much. But he is entering the transfer portal. You know, good for him. I hope he gets to a place where he can actually like get a lot more playing time. And then this one, surprising to some, it is a bummer, certainly. But Kel'el Ware, the NBA prospect, as they told us over and over and over again, he has elected to enter the transfer portal.
Yeah, I would too if I was him.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, he can be a starter somewhere, and his minutes were really limited for someone who was like reportedly going to be like potential one and done. You know,
I have to tell you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Let's hear it. No, I want to hear
it. I think I watched a grand total of 2 men's basketball games, maybe 3.
Well, that's why you're an authority on the show.
And the very first game I watched, he was in it, and I remember going, oh, shit, this guy is good.
For real.
But then, after that, when I stopped watching games, I noticed you kind of stopped saying his name, and I was like, oh, wow, they're just not playing him. That is a bonehead move.
For real, I think I cannot even really remember. I think there was a moment where he was injured for like a game or 2. It was not that long in my head, but I think it's clear through Dana Altman. He had some quotes where he was saying, like, I'm definitely misquoting him, but essentially it came down to, I don't like the way his effort level. Like, it's an effort level thing. I don't like the way he's practicing. He's not like playing to his potential. And I believe it was clear he wasn't playing him because something to do with the level of play or his engagement with it or something, or engagement in the system. Like, there is clearly a butting of heads. I'm not saying how, like, I don't want to get anything like wrong there, but there was clearly a little bit of disagreement, some kind of style. I'm gonna
say that the powers that be have learned how to rebrand the word attitude problem.
I don't know. I mean,
you know what I mean? Because you can't say a kid's got attitude problems without
I definitely think it's
making
like,
somebody feel like you're being
I get what you mean. And like, I think Dana Altman is the kind of person that is like, he didn't do exactly what I freaking told him. You know, like, I think he's got everyone on the short leash. I don't think you'd get along in Dana Altman's system very well, even though you're a tall man.
You know who I would I feel like I would play for the football team.
Dan Lanning, baby.
Yeah, I feel like Lanning's got my number where I would really excel because he's such a positive guy.
You'd run through a wall for him. By the way, for people that want to see this, because I'll put this up on YouTube. Yeah, that's right. You can watch this video, y'all. I'm drinking a green smoothie. No, you know what? Maybe this will be behind the paywall. Maybe you got to pay to see this one. Who knows? Over at the Quack 12 Patreon. We'll see.
Okay.
How
just to clarify, I am. Dear listener,
back and forth, baby.
Dear listener, this is my plea to you. Help me help Adam realize that talking about a green smoothie isn't a great
material
pitch for getting us $5.
We'll see. I'll put it behind the paywall, and then if we get a landslide, then we'll know it's because people wanted to see exactly what kind
that green smoothie. Yeah,
it's got a good taste of ginger. It wakes you up in the morning. Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
That's right. That's an ad.
Now, is
for
it green because
smoothie?
of avocado, or is it green because of spinach?
Let this be your answer.
Spinach.
That's a Popeye. Yeah,
that's the old Popeye.
You got it. I knew you were old enough. You'd know that. Mm-hmm. That was on when you were a kid. 7-foot freshman played in 35 games. So Kel'el Ware, he did play a lot more games.
Oh, he played a lot. Wait,
Yeah, he really
is there
did.
somebody
It's just-
whose last name is Ware?
Yeah,
but
Luke
it's
Ware.
spelled-
Well, he's Ware. He's Khalil. This has been a thing all season. Khalil Ware, not just with you, but with a bunch of people that are half paying attention. Khalil Ware, and then Luke Ware. And Luke Ware is someone who in general has not looked certain, like the prospect that Ware is. Like he's not like because like the way he was just move, his shooting touch, like that's what got you excited about Ware. A lot of times his effort didn't seem there, and it didn't seem like sometimes he'd just be in the wrong position. It seemed like he seemed a little bit of a liability defensively, but at the same time,
I wonder.
you would get amazing blocked shots from him too. So he had some really eye-catching moments. He is an absolute loss, but for real, Dana Altman was praising Luke Ware so much, saying like he practices really well. And I think that, and giving him more, and saying like I need to give him more playing time to reward him, like saying that in the press. And I think that was both supposed to be like to kind of spur Khalil Ware to try harder or whatever, and to promote Ware. But like, yeah, there's something going on here.
It's starting to sound like, when you look at it from the player's perspective, signing to Oregon always looks good, right? You're going to get instantaneous Nike endorsement shit. So bravo. And so he's like, all right, it's worth going into this system just for that level of exposure. And then as he got into the system, he's like, I actually don't really like the way it's ran here. Maybe I want to get out. And then,
absolutely.
and then you've got some old man being like, no, you have to do it my way. I'll show you. And he's like, you literally can't.
Honestly,
sounds like it's a man who understands his value and his worth, and he's like, I'm peacing out.
I totally agree with you there.
I mean, I'm speculating.
I definitely think, because I think it was smart of him not to go for the NBA, because like he can still just wait one more year and go for it.
How old is he? 20? 19?
Like I think he's got to be like 19. I think I don't know his exact age, but he was a freshman, true freshman, and he's gonna go somewhere that's gonna have him be a starter and get a bunch of minutes, and if he's lucky, can really show off his talent and like make the tournament, and that's very possible. He was really good. You want to hear a little more fun news that will make you possibly a little more excited for next year's Duck Squad, the men's team.
Is this
confirmed? Well, this part's confirmed, sure. So, Marquise Cook, who is a 5-star forward that we're very excited for coming in next year. Like this is we got some turnover for the men's team, but what Dana Altman is famous for, maybe it hasn't translated, but like this is the log line, is that he's really good at getting transfers and making them into a team in 1 year. That's what he's famous for. It hasn't happened in the last couple of years, but that doesn't mean, maybe we're due here. And he's got this 5-star forward and other talent. But specifically, I wanted you to bring up Marquise Cook, a.k.a. Mookie Cook. Really excited to see him. But not only that, I love it when there's any connection between an Oregon Duck and like a movie coming out. That's why we were talking about that Air movie, that Phil Knight movie or whatever. We watched that.
No.
I think we watched the trailer for it or something. I don't know. It's about the Michael Jordan one. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if we're gonna watch
one
it.
Where it's no, we're not. I'm not going to support a movie that takes the success of a black man and gives it to 2 white corporate suit fucks.
Yeah.
No,
that's
good.
kind of how I feel too.
Yeah. It's also the same reason I don't need to watch a Bob Ross ripoff because they couldn't get rights to use his name.
Confusing. That's so confusing.
It's out of control.
Anyways, get this though.
Okay.
This guy, I think you'll like this. First trailer drops for a movie starring Mookie That is right. In which he plays a young LeBron James. So this player who's going to be a Duck is playing a young LeBron James for this. I think it's like a Peacock.
That's bad for business.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How is this bad for business?
I get the vibe of wanting to get a actual kid that plays basketball. But
You think he'll have too big
I
of a
don't
ego
know.
or
I would
something?
have to meet this kid before I signed him into my program, knowing that he's gonna be like also chasing this other thing of maybe being in the movies or something.
Can I make
Or
things
maybe
a little
he's
more
gonna treat it just
complicated?
like Tony Hawk did whenever he was utilized in movies for his skateboarding prowess. You know, it's just a gig. Who knows? Who knows? I got to meet the kid. I almost got
We'll set that
opinionated,
up.
and I shouldn't be.
We'll
You set me
that
up. You set me up to be opinionated, sir.
That's right. That's what this podcast is. Well,
All right,
here's a
anyway.
little more fuel for that fire then.
Oh boy.
Imagine this. This would be a real like Hollywood roster here if he convinces Bronny James, young LeBron James, who I imagine they got to, some connections here, who he is, but Mookie, like, he's honestly trying to recruit him to the team. So what if you had young LeBron James and the guy who plays young LeBron James on the same Oregon Duck squad? Come on, man. That at least would be like headlines interesting, good or bad. But maybe as far as like what we were just talking about, Dana Altman, like being kind of a fascist basketball coach in a good way,
But I think
Not to slander the man.
LeBron would probably. I mean, the way that LeBron plays, he seems like a man of discipline himself. It's about the craft and perfecting the craft.
I mean, Bronny James is good.
Is he good? I mean,
Yeah,
here's the
he's
other
good.
situation: is I never ever want to put the accolades of a parent onto that child
Mhm.
because
Rarely
I
are
don't
they,
yeah,
are they anywhere as good.
yeah, or just the mere fact of like, while it makes sense at one time to go
Mhm.
into the trade in which your family has been in, we no longer really live in those times, and I hope that it's not done because this is like an approval seeking tactic. You know what I mean?
Well, he just wants to play
I don't know.
basketball. He's good.
Yeah, if he
He's
loves
good.
playing basketball, then fucking A, kid play basketball. But I don't want to like put shit on kids because kids need to figure out their own shit,
I know.
Let them make some mistakes before we fucking start.
This is why I hate high
throwing them
school
into shit.
recruiting and recruiting in general. Even though we have a college sports podcast, it always just creeps me out to be like, yeah, this high school is gonna be the best there is, because it's just like you just don't know. You just don't know. There's so many factors. Even with Bronny James, I don't think we're getting him, by the way, but it is. It's
I
still
will
possible.
say this about it,
Still possible.
and this is this kind of relates into a point of
a point.
other dude of where going into the transfer portal is that these young guns now, maybe it's because of being able to learn how to monetize social media better because that's what they grew up inside of.
And being allowed to.
These kids get business. You know what I mean? Like they are good
NIL
at running.
helps that too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they are getting trained. They're better at business than I am, probably. Because anyway,
yeah.
Good for them. Kudos for them for grabbing everything. I hope they have a mental fortitude to hang on.
So we're watching that. As long as Mookie, he should, as long as he's a Duck, this thing comes out in like June. I think we should definitely watch this thing because then it'll hype us up for this upcoming.
Is that a nickname?
Yeah.
Because I knew a Mookie in high school.
Maybe this is him. Maybe was he an infant when you met him?
He was.
There you go. It's probably him. So, okay, the men's team, though, like we said, they lost to Wisconsin. This team was freaking hard to watch, and it was so hard that Dana Altman was real pissed that there were only, I believe I have, yes, the attendance was 3,384 people. I believe Matt Knight's, I think it's like 12,000 people. What should I write? Maximum capacity or something like that.
15,000.
Yeah, 12,364 people.
That's
so it
pretty
was
close.
pretty, but it's an NIT tournament. It was finals week. It was
Yeah.
on a freaking, like, I don't know, Wednesday or something like
It's
Tuesday.
on a Wednesday, bro.
It was on a Tuesday, okay, at 6
On a
p.m.
Tuesday.
Dana Altman was furious there were so few people there, and like to the point where he was saying like, I can go coach at like one of these smaller things. Like they want to play. People are excited to watch their games and stuff like that. Like
This
just
dude
furious.
doesn't lose well, does he? Jeez.
He was.
I got a
furious at
VHS
this
tape
loss.
he can watch that shows how to be a respectful loser.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, maybe I need to watch that. But yeah, this game at the same time infuriated me. Like I know I was pissed, but I was also like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't see this game in person. Are you fucking serious? Because we led for most of this game. Even like the last 3 minutes, I believe we had like one. I don't know. We had like a 6-point lead or something like that. Aaron, we lost it 61-58. The easy thing to circle. The easy thing to circle is that we went 4 of 12 from the charity stripe, from free throws. They are free, Aaron, and we missed them. We missed 8 of them.
Yup.
And we lost by 3 points.
Ha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Somebody
also
didn't do their
yeah.
homework.
Yep. We also shot 28%, 6 of 21 from 3-point range, which isn't bad for us. And which also brings to fact that I honestly, and I think a lot of people said this too, which maybe this isn't saying much, but the team was a little more fun to watch when Keyshawn Bartholomew was playing the point instead of Will Richardson, which we said that on last week's episode too.
Oh boy.
Which is, maybe this doesn't mean anything, but it was a little more fun.
Well, it
to
doesn't mean
watch.
anything anymore.
Not well,
'Cause it's over.
Keyshawn, because Will, yeah, definitely. But like Keyshawn, it appears is in play to be playing for us again next season. Like he will.
That's good.
Sounds like he will be playing for us unless something happens. But I don't think he's going to the NBA. And
Yeah.
he says we're the school for him, basically. So I think he's going to be playing.
Good.
And so
Let's-
that bodes well for next season.
We got to take a break. I have to pee so bad.
Okay. This is a good place for a commercial
like,
break
hey,
anyways.
Hey.
Like, please, God.
And we're back on Quack.
We're back on Quack. So, yeah, as I was saying, Keyshawn Bartholomew has been a bright spot, especially if he's returning, which he probably is. In this game, he was 1 of 4 from 3, 7 of 13 from the floor, but still, it was more like an energy thing, and a confidence thing. Finished with 15 points and 6 rebounds. Quincy Guerrier, who could return. Nowadays, it's pretty tough with all the COVID year stuff and the extra eligibility to figure out who can return, but I believe Guerrier could return. Would overall be a positive for the team, especially if he's still down to be off the bench. Has been a positive overall. But at the same time, if he doesn't return, he was 1 of freaking 6 from deep, so maybe not the biggest loss, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Nate Biddle has been a big bright spot in this game, 7 points, 7 rebounds. But overall in the NIT, did very well, especially as the lone big man out there, because Ware wasn't getting huge minutes. In this game, Ware played 15 minutes. Meanwhile, Luke Ware played 23 minutes. Don't know what to tell you there. It was interesting. Gabe Reichel played 5 minutes in this game even. And, he's the walk-on. He's
okay, well, this is kind of makes sense that so many, because it's playing time, right? These kids need to get real-world experience as well. It's something you talk about.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense there. But also, I mean, it's the NIT. I don't really think it's important. And I wouldn't imagine that the coach thinks it's important. So why harm your actual weapens?
Well, apparently he thinks 12,000 people should have showed up to this. It would have made a difference, to be fair,
Yeah, but no. That's the authority blaming the lowest level of participant in the event.
You know what it reminded me of, Aaron, and I think this is something that you can relate to. This is like when you got a friend, right, who's in a band who maybe is not very good or maybe is just very into a polarizing kind of sound or something like that. And they play at we're starting at 12:30 p.m. at this small bar in the middle of nowhere, and they're complaining about people just don't go out to shows anymore. People don't go out to my shows anymore. It's sometimes it's just you're not really. They don't want the products, they don't want to see the show, and this team was tough to freaking watch, and also a lot of us hate the freaking court. I'll say it. I hate the court. Maybe I don't like looking at it, at least.
I agree with you. I think that's exactly what it is. It's but yeah, I would use the metaphor because I'm looking at it from the perspective of here's the person in charge blaming anyone but himself. And I would say we have top recruits on the team that are supposedly underperforming because of whatever reasoning you're giving us so they don't get playing time. Mm-hmm. That's like owning a $500 hammer and then blaming a shoddy patio on the fact that the hammer couldn't do it well enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be said,
dude, you're the one doing the hammering.
He said, "If it's me, then fire me." He even had
please God, let's do it, baby.
Oh no! See, I'm on the reverse. I'm on the reverse of the Kelly Graves thing. That I still like Dane Altman. I still want to give him, some more shot bites at the apple because he still got us to a 20+ win season.
As a bastard.
You are a bastard.
I know when I hear another bastard speak, and that dude deserves to get fired because
he's our bastard, though.
Call his bluff, shut him up.
Oh no!
Make him get back to real work. He's If it's my fault, fire me, he says. That's some fucking Donald Trump shit, bro.
Oh my. Well, there you go. There you have it. I
What a
like him
mindset.
still.
What a mindset.
He was pissed, and I think
he's making millions.
He did do exactly. He did do he knew we weren't going to fire him, and I think he did a talk with like Consano or something afterwards. He's like, I'm sorry, I was a little pissed at the end of that game.
I'm gonna be
I was
Googling
pissed
that.
too, though. 4 of 12 free throws. Like, I mean, it's the NIT. I get. I definitely don't get some places they do show up for the NIT, like huge amounts, but I don't know, man. We're a football town. Sorry. Track town too.
I mean, be fair, it's a basketball town and basketball is good. And like you said, the basketball wasn't good. So why should we go?
I mean, women's
How much
basketball,
was a
the
ticket?
years of UNESCO, we were selling that shit out. Exactly. That's the other thing. Is like, just make the tickets cheaper. Buy everyone a ticket. Buy everyone a beer. The Portland State coach did that.
Give us a reason to come. Yeah.
Yeah, win some games. Do something like that, you know?
Yeah.
don't
Don't
know.
blame my non-attendance for their underperformance. It's obviously under coaching. Bro,
Get
this is going to
two
be
versions-
my tip next year.
Get
Everybody,
2 versions of young LeBron James to come in, you know?
Yeah, dear listener, I tell you now, I am going to be holding these coaches to the fire next year. I will scrutinize. I will penalize anything I
How
deem
you gonna
unjust to our players. Adam, I'm going rogue next year, bro.
All right. You heard it here first and only here.
Boy.
So let's get into the end of the women's basketball season. Well, first there's the game before the Washington game against San Diego. And like I said, this was much like the other games in which Oregon looked like kind of a different team, kind of like how they did near the end of the season. They looked really strong and were shooting well, especially in this game. The thing that really marked this, which was honestly a nice surprise against San Diego, is that our bench showed up in huge fashion. Elise Hurst scored 23 points and hit 6 of 13 three-pointers. She had 6 three-pointers, though. So that was amazing. Off the bench, that is huge. Taya Hansen also hit 3 three-pointers. So that actual bench production was awesome, especially with Grace Van Sluten being a little limited. And then I believe she was coming off the injury. Pow Pow and India Rogers scored 15 and 10 points respectively. I think they really didn't have to shoot all that much. India Rogers went 3 of 9. Pow Pow went 5 of 8. And it was a blowout. It was a good game. Like, defensively, we showed up. I believe Filipina Che did her thing and was just huge and didn't score all that much, but 4 points, 7 rebounds, so did make some impact there. But really, it was the bench showing up, which that was a good sign for what we would need, because I don't know why. Aaron, I have no freaking idea. And if you want to get in a conspiracy corner, sure, now may be the time. Because this made me furious. I can't find. I've been on the website, the WNIT website. I've looked different articles. I cannot find an answer to this. I have a guess. But for some reason, Washington, even though we had already beaten them twice, 2 out of 3 times in the season, including most recently in the Pac-12 tournament, and we have a better record than them, I do not get how Washington got to host the WNIT.
Interesting.
What is it called? Super 16.
It was the Epic 8 or some shit.
Oh, was it? Or shit. See, I can't even remember. Because there's Elite 8 is the real one. The Great 8, that's it. They don't
maybe it's the Great.
Yeah. In the Great 8, I don't get how Washington got to freaking host this, because that could have changed everything. I mean, we're talking about attendance, but still, I mean, 3,000 Duck fans instead of 3,000 Husky fans. That would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
But, Aaron, I understand that one of those fans in attendance was our very own Aaron
Was
Schroeder.
me.
Was you? 3,000, that's right. 3,000 fans. I got the number here. Aaron, what was it like? Break it down. Let's talk about it.
Okay,
Getting
well, yeah,
there.
let's take this play by play. Because what we need
I'm
to do
kicking
first is we need to fix the truth, which is that Adam very well much knew that I was going to this game, because it was very much Adam's idea for me to go.
I did
And he
let
also
you know.
said he also said he'd pay me back. But
It's
maybe
true.
he's going to ransom those mugs against me. I'm not for sure. We'll find
We'll
out.
see what happens.
I've
I've got news on that. Let's remind me at the end.
So
I got
anywho,
news on that.
So I get there, right? I love the drive over there because I get to hit one of my favorite views in all of Seattle. I get to the parking lot, $7.75 for parking. And then the real joy of it is that the sign just says pay by phone.
Oh.
$7.75. Tell what lot you're in.
Okay.
And so I get to the box office and I'm like walking, this whole way to get to the stadium, arena, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing those
Alaska
signs.
Airlines Arena.
Yeah. I'm like, and I keep seeing those signs and I'm like, it just says pay by phone. I don't know, where should I go on my fucking phone? So I get to the box office. I ask for a ticket closest to center court as possible, and then she goes, I'll give you a GA ticket, $13. And I went, okay. I was like, is that pretty close? And she goes, it's like the upper top part. And I'm like, but I wanted a ticket closest.
Yeah, just do it. Do what I asked.
Anywho, what happens is that when you get closer to the court, I guess they want you to buy 2 tickets so there's not empty spaces between. I do not understand the concept. They'd rather 2 empty seats than 1. I don't know. Anyway,
the kind of shit, man.
So then I ask her, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, what is up with this? Like, where do I go on my phone to pay for this? And she goes, you pay by phone? And I went, that's what I'm saying. Where do I go? And she goes, no, the app is called Pay by Phone. Oh my
God. So it
Dear
was
God.
like who's on first situation.
Yeah. So anywho, go inside. Electric energy. I tell you, everyone is having a great time. The music is bumping. The cheerleaders are going off. The Ducks are getting introduced as I walk into the stands. Find my spot.
Were there some boos?
Were there some boos?
Were people booing when the Ducks were announced?
No, it's very respectful. It was respectful.
I would have booed the Washington players.
So I like find this part up near the top, basically where you and I sat when we went to the game. That's
nice.
Pretty much exactly where I was.
Nice.
And so I start being like, this will be fun. I'm going to take a bunch of videos and pictures so that I can, so I was like, so on the chance that the Huskies win, I can call conspiracy on what was televised because I was there, and I was going to like doctor photos to make it look like the reverse stuff was happening.
Nice.
I was going to use a conspiracy about how there were actually more Duck fans than Husky fans, but they were using CGI to replace people in the stands. And so I'm like thinking of all these fun ideas.
I'm willing to believe any of this.
So we're going through the game, and we all know how it went. I got a hot dog between the first and second quarters.
Ooh,
delicious, to be honest with you. The bun was cold, which was weird, but the dog was delicious. So I had that, and I'm like, just in general having a great time. Like it's a pretty close game overall. Definitely an issue with just lining up 3 feet behind the 3-point line, throwing them out is just like, what are y'all? You got to stop just going for these like that. But so anywho, so I'm like, having fun, coming up
Back
with
to the important stuff,
conspiracies. Yeah, coming up with the conspiracies, enjoying myself. When all of a sudden, these kids start coming, and I'm wearing this, by the way. I've got my green pants on, I got my yellow sweater on, I got a green bean, and I'm wearing my green beanie, so I'm in colors.
Duck fan, yeah.
Yeah, and
you
so this
joked
is like,
about being in husky colors, and I
did.
I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. I would not go in purple. I don't look good in purple and whatever their other color is, silver.
Gold. I like
gold.
that you don't know though.
So it's like middle of the fourth quarter. Things aren't really going great for us anymore, and it doesn't look like they're going to be going great for us. And so I'm just kind of like leaning back like this, and I hear like some kids running this way behind me in the uppermost part of the GA section.
Okay.
And they're like, blah, 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 blah. And then they like end up right behind me, just blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, these fucking kids are just yap, yap, yap. So I turn around. It turns out the husky man, the guy in the costume, the mascot,
the mascot, Harry the Husky,
is standing behind me, taking photos with kids, with me in the background, like just kind of sitting back, watching a bad game go down.
Nice.
So for the next 15 minutes, I become a prop for the mascot to take photos with Huskies fans while they scream "Go Dogs" in my fucking ear.
I love that. Well, guess what?
I'm taking this dude down. I'm telling you, he singled me out and made me an example of a loser. And so I'm coming at him next year.
Oh, you're coming at coaches and you're coming at Harry the Husky?
Yeah, dude. Harry the Husky sucks. He's rude and mean.
Well, just so you know, wow. He
added insult to injury.
That's not what a mascot should do.
He's a dirty dog, is what he is.
He's a dirty dog, and someone's got to put him down.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
looking.
No, I would
right
never
now.
kill a dog, but
well, I would never have you admit to it on a podcast. Certainly,
I'm going to do a deep dive on this guy. I'm going to find all of his fucking skeletons.
I'm on Twitter right now.
Oh boy,
all of his bones buried in his backyard. Certainly. I'm on Twitter right now. The funny thing is, you go #Go Dogs, right? Because that's what if that's what they're saying or trying to get screen, whatever.
That's the chant.
The funny thing is, that's what they do. But then there's, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs, the much more famous dogs, and like they take all of that hashtag basically. So I'm doing like Harry the Husky. I'm not seeing any pictures of you. That's what I was hoping. To get a picture of you doing a thumbs down with some happy kids. But anyways, the reason
Well, I tell you this much. I was about to go kick his ass. I was about to get up and I was going to beat him up real big. Well, this is interesting. They're using a lot of my footage on the WNIT's website because I got on the court whenever they were celebrating. I mean, oh man, so much of this is my footage. All this camera
What are you talking about?
Oh, dude. So after the game, I ran down onto the court and was just filming everything.
Nice.
These 5 security guards came out of nowhere. Fucking came at me. I ended up having to run up into the catwalk above. I went full on Van Damme.
Yes, go on.
That hockey movie, Sudden Death.
All right, then what happened?
I escaped by the skin of my teeth. I went full Batman with my Batarang, and I escaped through the roof, and then I did a Mission Impossible run off the top of the dome and parachuted all the way back to the van, jumped in through the open side window, cranked it up, did a Dukes of Hazzard jump into an oncoming traffic.
That's
Couldn't
cool.
catch
Well,
me.
while that was going on, the game did end with a disappointing 4-point loss. That was after a promising first quarter, Aaron. in which the Ducks went 21-13.
Yep.
Looks like it was very possible that they were going to run away with this.
It's why I got a hot dog. It was why I got a hot dog.
I get you, man. I get you. Did you have any condiments on that hot dog?
I did mustard, ketchup, relish, the way a dog should be.
I get you. Was it the packet relish?
No, it was the same thing that you get like in zoos where it's the big jug thing and you push down. But of course it's relish, so it like gets clogged. So you push real hard and you just get liquid water, and then you push harder and it goes.
That's
and then you've splattered ketchup and mustard all over yourself.
Oh,
so I had to be delicate, but I got it done.
That's good. I'm glad that worked out. What didn't work out was the Oregon offense in the second quarter, because in that second quarter is where we really got dominated, where the entire momentum just shifted, and it was done. And I'll tell you this, Aaron. I've been watching a lot of women's basketball in the actual March Madness tournament, and watching those elite teams. Like, I mean, that being said, there was a game I watched where it was late in the fourth quarter, I think 7 minutes left, and they hit one of the teams, I think it was LSU, hit the first three-pointer of the game. Yeah. So, even in that, like, high stage, you see some baffling stats, but it just saw so much more effort, so much more energy, so much more, like, I don't know, sure offensive threats in those elite teams. And I'm afraid I'm not sure if we're ever going to get back to there, like when we had Ionescu, and it makes me sad. That being said, I mean, this would have been a great game for either Pau or Rogers to take over. Pau did do a pretty good job. She scored 14 points. She went 2 of 7.
She didn't seem to play very long, though, did she? Did she make it through the end of the game?
She played 39 minutes, so there was probably 1 minute at the end that she didn't play. But, 14 points. She was really out there for quite a bit. I think you're talking about Grace Van Slooten played only 12 minutes.
Maybe.
Because in the very beginning, she got injured right off the bat, is what it felt like.
Yeah, well, Pau is so easy to see on the court because of the split hairdo thing. So it's like, well, it's easy to always see where she is. I guess when she's not being awesome.
You were preoccupied, probably, running around the rafters, crawling around like Die Hard.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, Mr. Die Hard, man. Pau. So Pau didn't have the most accurate game, or like didn't continue her amazing shooting streak. Just like great deep shot as of late. But, she still had a pretty good game. But then Filipina Che, she had 9 points, 11 rebounds. She only played for 24 minutes. She was also a bit dinged up, if I do believe. The one that really kind of hurt us, kind of like starter that we really needed more from, was India Rogers. She shot 2 of 12 from the floor. That's pretty tough.
Who's the super tall one that's usually underneath the bucket defending?
Filipina Che. She got injured.
Che.
Yeah. But India Rogers, she was out there. She only scored 7 points this game. That's really, I mean, we needed more. In an ugly game like this, we needed more to pull out the win.
Yeah. Who went down with the elbow injury there early?
I want to say that was Grace Van Slooten. Again, that's another starter who would have been huge for us, especially with Filipina Che being limited. Grace Van Slooten only played for 12 minutes.
Yeah, that was a spooky one. I think that might have been the game-changing moment because it stopped.
Yeah,
it stopped the game. We were all just like, "Oh shit, okay, we're actually hanging out here for about a minute."
I think that's where you got to give Kelly some credit. Like at this point in this season, it's like it was such a thin roster at this point with those injuries. And, like, Washington is very aggressive defensively and then just, like, really drains that shot clock, tries to get the best shot. Offensively, Washington is not a very good team. But the reason why they've had success is because they win games like this in this way. And we played such a Washington game after that first quarter.
It was so weird too to me. It felt like defensively we were kind of lackluster. I felt like they
Yes.
were half committing. Like they would start to go up like they're going to do the block, but then be like, I'm actually not going to block you, so go ahead and shoot.
Yeah,
I don't
we
know.
didn't have the
It was a weird
energy.
thing.
We didn't have the energy, and then we actually didn't really have we were at a size disadvantage because so much of because our two tallest remaining players right now, and Kennedy Basham's not playing this whole series. So, yeah, Washington's bigs were really able to feed, Delia Daniels, Delia Daniels? I definitely should know this. Delia Daniels, 14 points. Haley Van Dyke, also 11 points. It was rough. And especially because it was like once the momentum shift, it just seemed like it was done. And granted, we were on the road, but still, we looked dead for quite a bit of it.
Okay, you know what? This was actually then a big difference being there is that through the second when they caught up to the third when they got ahead, and into the fourth, the entire crowd for real was like everybody was concerned how this game might turn out. Like it wasn't until that final 2 minutes that the Husky fans actually started like being confident in the win, and even then it was still like a little hazardous to be like celebrating because there's like once we hit those last few threes, it was like we'd really like you're getting it back into 2-point, 3-point territory if you just once you've hit like one of those miracle threes, slow down a little bit. Get back on offense. Fucking go for 2 points, force a foul, do whatever you need to do to make points. Don't just get it to half court and then throw it at the goal like you need to superhero ball.
Well, and Washington was shooting bad. I mean, they were 10 of 16 from the
It was a game
stripe.
we could have won. I was being there. I was like, this is a game we could have won. Everyone in attendance knew it. But
they were 3 of 19
because we were too chaotic.
Yeah. They were 3 of 19 from 3-point range, 36% from the floor. Washington was. Like, we were only 35% from the floor, and we hit 8 of 28 from 3-point range. So, we were a bit better. But like you were saying, the main difference I'm seeing between these tournament teams in March Madness and this Oregon squad, and even Washington has this, is we don't seemingly have an identity, or our identity just does not match what we are actually able to pull off. Because our identity used to be we're just going to score so many freaking points. We're going to be reliable on the 3 ball, so we're in any game. And when we go on a streak, we can really get such a lead that suddenly, you are feeling desperate, and then we can get some turnovers and points off that even. Like, we're not that team because we're not consistent on defense and scoring. Like, from the 3-point line, like, we're not doing it on a regular basis either.
I feel that vibe so hard in Rocket League, like for real. There's moments where I get, I'll get down 3-1 and I'll start getting like, and it's not helping me get any better. And I have to calm down, go back to defense, take over the ball.
You're an athlete too, and you understand.
Yeah, dude. Well, the funny thing is that I feel like in most sports, if you learn how to make the opponent play themselves, then your only thing you'll do is be able to take advantage of the situations. If you allow them to play themselves, they will muck it up.
Because some players play the game, but other players play the players. And
some players
coaches.
play themselves.
In
a LeBron James movie coming this summer.
I guess in Space Jam he played himself. Aaron, there's a couple things here. First of all, this is Gotcha Journalism section once again. Aaron.
Oh, shit.
I've got a proposition for you.
Oh, boy.
Because I am such a gracious co-host and am aiming to be the true favorite of the podcast.
Oh boy.
And because
I can't believe that's not possible. I can't believe that hasn't happened. You should be.
I agree.
I bring nothing to the table.
I agree on that as well, but I can assure you, you are the more liked one on this show.
Sure.
Never heard a bad thing. Despite this,
that's impossible. People do not like me.
Terrible blunder that has painted this podcast in scandal, and may be the actual
Muggate 2022.
Muggate 20, in which you promised anyone who sent in a cute picture of them with their dog would receive a mug. In which I begged you not to. In which you reassured me that you would do this. It has been, I believe, close to over a year.
No.
I mean, close to like 9 months, I'd say.
No, this was Christmas 2022.
This is Christmas. Well, okay. So this has been like 4 months then or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, shipping takes forever. Importing these mugs, they had to come all the way from China, my guy.
So I'm
getting held up. I'm getting tariffs every other day, man. I'm having to go to local courts to see where my packages are, dude. You know what queue is like at customs in Seattle, Washington, bro? You got to go to the airport for that. I'm in Ballard, bro.
If these mugs are truly in transition still, then that is we can wait on these. But I wanted to offer, like Jesus on the cross, myself. I may have a mug connection. I may have some Quack12 fan mail, reverse fan, I don't know what you call it, going out, some promotional material going out in the mail.
You have parcels.
I could inherit your mug debt unless you feel that this is your cross to bear.
I hear you.
Let's hear it.
Here's what we're gonna do.
What's that? Should we save it for next step?
Yeah, let's save it for next step.
Okay, we'll save it for next step. We got one more bad segment to go.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack.
That's right. The Quack12 boys and girls are out there slinging and slugging away once again. First of all, the softball team loses their series against the number 3 UCLA Bruins, but they gave them hell while they did it, winning the first game 3-0, then losing the second 4-7, and the third 2-6. Up next is the Oregon State Beaver Gals. That is all in Corvallis, Oregon, a.k.a. the Hayseed City. Then, the Northwestern State Blue Devils gave the Ducks baseball team absolutely no pushback when they lost 1, 2, 3, 4 times in Eugene, Oregon. 16-1, 12-7, 13-3, and 5-0. Up next is the Arizona Wildcats. Boy howdy, sponsored by Crackerjack. There you go.
All right.
Aaron, it's been a blast. I'm glad you got out there and saw our Ducks play in what was a valiant effort.
Yeah.
Now is the time I'm most afraid for women's basketball. We are going to wait. There will most likely be transfers.
Oh, there's gonna be.
We just really need to hope that it's not too many. Hope we get some good news like India Rogers staying, perhaps. Something like that. We just need an influx of talent, and we also need our veterans to stay. So we'll see what happens. I'm not actively rooting against Kelly Graves. I'm just starting to get more and more worried that, Ionescu was his ace in the sleeve, and now he's got nothing left.
I feel like I feel like he's a little too comfortable, and I think we got to shake that up a little bit somehow.
With investigative journalism.
Or just can him. Put him on a probation. Change his contract. Make it desirable to do good, because
break into his
apparently
garage.
he can do
and
bad
mess
and
things
keep his
around.
job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it more desirable to him to want to do good rather than just be mediocre.
Kidnap
Anyway.
his pet. I agree with all these things. Aaron, for the next month or so, we will be having Patreon little peeks behind the curtain on this main feed here. That is right, y'all. I mean, we'll still tell you some like duck news before these eps, but yeah, we're releasing some of our paywalled stuff just to give you a little taste of what is behind the Quack 12 Patreon paywall, in which for $5 measly you can be a quacky and get hours and hours and hours of entertainment, duck-themed content that you will love.
Amen.
Aaron, it's been a pleasure. I'm excited for this next month. I'm excited to eventually do the roster reviews with Hithliday in a month or so. It's actually really coming up. I'm excited for this offseason to be over and get into football. But until then, we've got many more hours to do.
I personally love summertime, and so I'm going to relish every moment of it and not wish it speed by, because as you age, it just gets faster naturally. So
there you have it. There you have it. All right, y'all. Quack, quack.
quack, quack.
Quack.